Hi, blog number 4, July 17th, 2019. I'm continuing to go through a lot of my collection and organize things. This may look familiar to some of you from the Hypnotic Eye episode 7, I think it was a public access Dallas show that in the days before the internet, it was about 1997, it got traded around the country, and I guess it influenced a lot of people, from what I hear. But it was a show put together by a friend of mine at the time, Joe Riley, who's since passed away, unfortunately. I helped out with several of the episodes. I provided a lot of footage. Episode 2 was pretty much, I was there when he edited the thing, and I think it was all my footage. Episode 7, he actually was in this part of my house, and he recorded a lot of this. I played the part of Donny Osmond on that show. It was a marionette puppet. I was going to show you some of the comics I've been acquiring lately. I like to go to a place here locally called Duncanville Comics. Duncanville Books and Comics, obviously in Duncanville, Texas. And I picked up some stuff a couple of weeks ago, right after I got paid. Every summer, there's something about the Legion of Superheroes. Every summer summer makes me think of this Legion of Superheroes. So I picked up a few issues that I don't think I have. Got this great issue of Jimmy Olsen, giant size issue, 80 page. Another issue of Jimmy Olsen. A lot of cool 60s stuff that I picked up. Teenage Love, number 63. I love these old Bob Hope and Jerry Lewis comics in the 60s when the sales were flagging. They put monsters into the mix to try to sell copies, and here's Bob Hope with monsters. An Archie book with a very interesting cover. Issue of Monster of Frankenstein that I don't have. This was one of the comics I bought in third grade. This title, Monster of Frankenstein. But I never got that issue. This is a cover I've seen, but I don't think I own this comic. Hope I didn't. Sometimes I actually accidentally buy comics a second time because I bought them 30 years ago and don't realize it. But this is great. Your patient is stark raving mad doctor. It is scientifically impossible that there could be a planet like Earth whose most famous leader is named Nixon. This is prior to Watergate. That's probably from about 1971. And Madhouse. I love the 60s covers. And Dennis the Menace was something I loved as a kid. My mother wouldn't let me buy the comics when I was real little, so they became more exciting because she was afraid I would pick up bad grammar from Dennis the Menace, the way he spoke. So she didn't let me buy them, so I became obsessed with Dennis the Menace. She wouldn't let me watch Three Stooges, so I'm still obsessed with the Three Stooges. She was afraid I'd imitate their actions. So things that she forbid me to have or watch, I am still fascinated with. I don't know if that's just kind of the way kids are. A 100-page giant Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. More 70s Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. I picked this up. I love the old Comics Journal interviews, and I may already have this issue. I hope not. Been picking up a few Mads. I think I already have this issue, but Sometimes when I find them cheap enough, I'll pick them up, or I'll forget that I already own them. This is an earlier Mad from '62. Picked this up recently as well. Fantastic Four '75. I went to an oddities convention in Dallas and got this Eerie Publications magazine. I didn't pay $25 for it, but I got it cheaper than that, but it would have been worth it. Amazing cover. Giant Size Chillers. I have the second issue from my childhood, but I never saw the first issue. I believe the second issue is where they introduced Tigra, the werewolf woman. I don't know how this got in this stack. Obsession and Oppression. Torment, Fear. W.V. Grant. How to Destroy the Devil. How to Destroy the Works of the Devil, rather. Millions in print. A reprint issue of Nick Fury. A few Phantom Strangers that I did not have. Wonderful covers. 20 cents. Picked up, I have most of these, but I found them for 50 cents, or less than 50 cents, so picked up a bunch of Marvel Tales, which were reprints from the late 60s of the very earliest Marvel comics. They reprinted Spider-Man, Thor, Human Torch, Gunsmoke. That's cool. This is from the Dallas Fantasy Fair that happened, that had a lot of great guests, but not many people came. It seemed very sparsely attended. It was almost like a funeral, but it was, and the parking was very expensive, and getting in was expensive, but they had a lot of great guests. Just a little depressing to see it, how small it was compared to the ones I remember from the 80s and I guess 90s. This is something you don't see very often. Tom Holton Super Green Beret. Excellent. It's just a Hana Fear reprint. Cave Kids. I'm going to rebag, obviously, a lot of these soon. Richie Rich. I love old Harvey comics. And Archie TV's Laugh Out. There's Sabrina, who is now a big Netflix star. Little Archie is always a great comic. Half Price Books, which is a great store, had these reprints of the 60s Hercules comics. So I picked these up. You know, when I lived in San Antonio, in I guess it was 4th grade, I saw at the local HEB a Doctor Strange Treasury Edition. And last summer, my wife got it for me from eBay. So something I've been wanting since 1974, I now have. It's a magnificent Frank Brunner cover. The Treasury editions, for those of you that don't know, were tabloid comics, tabloid-size comics that were reprints from the classic days. Also got this Treasury edition from Duncanville Books of Thor, number 10, Treasury edition number 10, about a year ago. I haven't been picking up a lot lately. I need to have more money really to do that, but just organizing. Everything's in big state of flux and chaos around here. Show you a little bit of what's going on in this room. lighting's not too good. Batman and Robin were gifts from my grandmother when I was like 3. Those aren't my childhood ones. All that remains of them kind of are the heads, but these are ones I got later. That's my childhood mummy box. Probably should try to get better lighting here. I painted that. The King Kong I bought, it was already painted. Superboy I painted. I'm not the best painter, but I try. That's I put together that robot and painted it, and the guillotine. It's my childhood Frankenstein model kit box, and I painted the Addams Family. Oh, this is where I'm keeping my comic collection, and I need to get new boxes, and I'm rebagging and reboarding a lot of the comics, and it's a big ongoing project that may not ever fully end, but I'm trying. I will be putting up more blog entries soon. Over and out.